All right, Rick, we don't have a guest today, but that's probably for the best because we're actually going to preview 5 games today instead of the normal 4 just because the schedule is so packed and we're not even going to touch the Stony Point Pflugerville game, which looked juicy before the season. It might not be as good right now. But let's get to it. Let's start on Thursday night. We got Bowie Westlake. Westlake, if they win, they get the outright championship. Bowie wins, it's probably going to be split 3 ways between them, Bowie, and Anderson. Who do you have?
Well, I've got Westlake, and for good reason. They've won 6 games in a row after starting 0-3. We didn't think they were very good, but they're a very good football team now. Bryce Dolezal, remember that name? 5 touchdowns last week. He had another punt return. It's 2 weeks in a row he's had a punt return for a touchdown. Going to Westlake.
Normally before the season, as I've said many times on this webcast, I would have picked Bowie, but Bowie's been pretty disappointing this year. And last week against Anderson, it was a pretty surprising loss. So I'm going to go with Westlake here. I think Bowie has the pieces in place to beat a team like Westlake with Braylon Sorrells and Eduardo Alexander, but just seems to be something about them that they can't seem to put together these complete games. And they've had some bad losses. The Anderson loss wasn't good. The Waco Midway loss wasn't good. And you don't want to be playing bad when you play a team like Westlake, and Westlake is playing really well right now. So I think Westlake wins this game, and they probably win it pretty convincingly. Second game, we got Lake Travis, we got Cedar Park. Cedar Park is number 2 in our poll this week. Lake Travis is number 3. This is a game everyone's been looking forward to ever since Cedar Park got off to that hot start. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, first of all, I think this is the game of the year for Central Texas from the entire season. I've been waiting for this since week 1, and I was hoping that both would be undefeated because they had that little slip up Lake Travis did. I'm going to give Lake Travis a slight edge. 3 reasons. I like the home field advantage. I like their experience factor. They've been in the playoffs. They've won state 3 years in a row, as we know. And that passing game is very difficult to defend. Cedar Park had Cedar Park had trouble with Vista Ridge with a little passing game there. Cedar Park's strongest team in the city. Lake Travis, deceptive, finesse. I think they win by 3.
I'm going to go with Lake Travis here. Lake Travis is finally healthy. Michael Brewer, he's been back for 3 or 4 games right now, and he's looked very well. They found a place in the offense for Colin Lagasse, who's become this year's Andy Erickson for them. Not as good as Andy, but he's been able to do a lot of good things for them. Connor Floyd, there's rumors about him maybe coming back, so if he can come back, that's another boost. And Danny Cavill, who's came up for JV during all these injuries, he's emerged into a star for them. And you can't forget Griffin Gilbert. So I think too many weapons. Cedar Park's probably going to come out, hit Michael a couple of times, but I think in the end, that's just too many weapons to cover, and I'm going to give this one to Lake Travis. Let's move to Friday. Got done with our Thursday games. Let's go. Bastrop Hutto. Bastrop wins. Hutto wins. Either way, it's going to be first share of the 16-4A title with Connolly.
I give Bastrop a slight edge only because I think they're playing better now than they were early in the season. Hutto has been playing great the entire season, but I think they've leveled off a little bit. Josiah Monroe, the quarterback, I think he's still a player of the year in this area. Bastrop a slight edge.
I'm going to go to Bastrop. All Bastrop needs to do is make sure they don't throw the ball to Laundry Thorne's side of the field when he's playing defense, and they'll win. Right, we got Liberty Hill Burnick, little Class 3A flavor. This rivalry game, everyone up there knows all about it, but this time district championship's on the line. How's it going to play?
I like Burnett. They throw the ball very well. They've had 5 games in a row, Weston Cosby, where he's thrown for at least 2 touchdown passes. Liberty Hill, very one-dimensional, as we know. They run. That worked for 2 state championships, but in this game, I like Burnett.
I'm going to go with Liberty Hill. Burnett's one loss was to Giddings. As we know, Giddings is very similar to what Liberty Hill does in the fact that they run the football. Burnett has at times struggled a little bit stopping the run, so I just think Liberty Hill, if they just keep pounding the football, they'll be able to get a couple of scores, and their defenses are pretty evenly matched. So if they can stop the pass and get a couple of runs, I think Liberty Hill wins this one and regains this district championship after missing the playoffs last year. Lexington Rogers last game, it's a Class 2A game. Both teams are undefeated. Who is going home with their first loss?
Well, it's going to be interesting because both teams pitched shutouts last week. I'm going to take Lexington. They've had 4 shutouts this year, an amazing defense. You win with defense, and I believe at this late in the season, I give them a slight edge.
I'm going to go with Rogers. Like Liberty Hill, Rogers runs the ball. They run it very effectively. If you're going to beat a team like Lexington, you just got to keep the football away from them. So if Rogers is able to just pound it out get a couple scores, maybe that defense can hold Lexington out of the end zone long enough for them to get a victory. So those are our predictions. As always, you can check online on Saturday to see how we did, and please join us next week as we will be breaking down playoff games.
All right.
All right.